Well, we all know to it that when Raila Odinga went ahead to pass on, the ODM party went ahead to obviously vote his brother, Babu Odinga, as the new leader of the ODM. But that never meant that he was obviously going to be on the ballot to take on the man or the incumbent, that is President William Ruto. Welcome to the Ugandan Stance. How are you guys? I know you're watching us from my go by the names of Rock and David, and here we come to bring you this story from Kenya. And you know very well that we bring you stories from around the region and around the world. Now, Babu Owino tops poll as potential successor to Raila Odinga, and it's a survey that has been conducted on the 28th of December. The latest opinion poll has placed Incase East MP Babu Owino as the forefront of discussions. Has placed Incase East MP Babu Owino at the forefront of discussions of the future of Luo leadership, positioning him as a most preferred successor to the late Raila Odinga. According to the survey, Owino commands the support of 33% of respondents, significantly ahead of Siaya Senator Babu Odinga, who garnered 10%. Other figures, including Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga and Siaya Governor James Orengo, trailed further behind with 7% and 4% respectively, with a notable 37% of those surveyed said they were undecided. Now, with all this saying undecided, that means that it could go either way if at all those that are undecided really take a side, you know. But obviously, that's a very huge pointer at this. The results underscore both the prominency of Owino as a youthful and outspoken figure and the continuing uncertainty about the direction of leadership within the community. Officials involved in the survey noted that the poll was intended to capture perceptions of leadership influence rather than formal succession within political party structures. They emphasized that the findings reflect evolving expectations among voters, particularly in the wake of Raila Odinga's passing, which has created a vacuum in the community's political hierarchy. The survey suggests a generational shift in preferences, with young voters gravitating towards leaders who are seen as dynamic and willing to change traditional political norms, with established figures maintain institutional recognition. While Owino leads in the succession question, the poll also highlights a significant gap between regional influence and national electoral appeal. When asked about the hypothetical presidential contest, only 7% of respondents said they would support him, illustrating that his popularity within the Luo community does not yet translate into broader national competitiveness. So this is really something that they are trying to obviously bring in, that Babu Owino is not fit because they feel like he's not yet a presidential material. But I think when he steps on the ballot, you know, he can become popular because he can become more popular because he's already popular. This distinction points to the challenges he would face if he sought higher office beyond his regional base, emphasizing the difference between being a leader in a community and a nationwide political figure. The findings reveal complex dynamics within the Luo political landscape, although Owino's prominence signals growing support among younger and more activist voters. A large portion of the electorate remains undecided, suggesting that no single figure has yet consolidated overwhelming support. This open space leaves room for negotiations, alliances, and strategic positioning as political actors consider the post-Odinga era. The uneven distribution of support also reflects variations in regional loyalty, highlighting that even within historically aligned communities, political preferences are far from uniform. From the political party historically led by Odinga, the survey underscores the challenge of balancing continuity with emerging leadership. Established figures like Babu Odinga retain institutional influence, but the rise of new actors such as Babu Owino demonstrates that the public sentiment may not always align nearly or neatly with far hierarchies. So, we've been told that in the community, they are far from uniform. You get, meaning that Oburu Odinga is not one of those that they're really looking, especially the people. The party might be looking at him as one of those leaders that has going to obviously come of age and experience to really take ODM to the next level, but the community is speaking different. And you know very well that the world is having lots of Gen Zs, and the recently conducted protest in Kenya, was led by the Gen Zs, and they came out and told the late Raila Odinga that Papa or Baba, stay home, and we are going to fight this battle because you fought yours, and now it's our era to run this. Now, that gives Babu Owino a very huge chance because the Gen Zs have a very huge say in who is going to be the next leader of ODM and the next president of Kenya. That's why when they went ahead to riot, William Ruto went ahead to hear what they're saying, and he really went ahead to make changes, and then the riots went ahead to obviously cease. Now, before I really end this video, I want to let you know that during the protests, I saw Babu Owino being hosted by Obina. You know him, Obina, that famous YouTuber and influencer in Kenya. He hosted him, and guess what? He was asked on who he thinks should be the successor of the late Raila Odinga. By that time, Raila Odinga was still alive. Guess what his reply was? Babu Owino frankly and boldly said he is the outright successor of the late Raila Odinga. And they gave him examples of people near the throne, of the late. And it was like, he demeaned everyone in there. I tell you, he demeaned all of them. You understand? So that shows you that Babu Owino is really doing a lot, and he's really influential. But will the hierarchy of the party allow him to take over the party? Because he's a radical politician, and he calls a spade a spade. And the disrespect that he has passed to the leaders of that party, I don't think that they'll obviously give him back. They'll obviously give him the gap to go there. But one thing I want to let you know is that you always have to attach yourself to the community and the people. If Babu Owino is having the people and he's attached to the communities and he's not far off from the communities, I tell you, that will lead him to where he wants to be. Because I've even seen William Ruto, you know where he was, but he formed Jubilee. Sorry, he was in Jubilee, and I think he formed his own platform, and it was yellow in color. Was it OD, something of the sort? I don't even remember. But it took him to power. You get? That means if Babu Owino is thrown out of ODM and he forms his own political party, all platform, I think he will overpower these ones because he is having the power of the Gen Zs. And one thing that the ODM leadership is lacking about this fight is that it's not the fight in between them and Babu Owino. It's the fight in between them and the supporters of ODM that think it's high time Babu Owino took over power. Ugandan stance it is. My brothers in Kenya will watch this, and I'll be waiting for your reactions into the comment section below. Do you think Babu Owino is the outright candidate to succeed the late Raila Odinga? All that and more into the comment section below.